It is Thursday again, and you all know what that means. It is time for another Reviewing Your Underwater Films episode. Coming up. Hey there underwater filmmakers, welcome back to the channel. As always, it's great to see all your smiling faces for yet another Reviewing Your Underwater Films episode. In today's video, I will be reviewing a film made by Scott Peden. He was diving in Hawaii with the local seals over there, and he was using his Osmo Action to film the clips and then DaVinci Resolve 17 for the editing process. Thank you very much, Scott, for submitting your film. And now, without any further ado, let's dive right into your piece of underwater imagery and see what you've got put together for us. Nice, we do get a bit of a perspective and an idea of where we are. And then we go right into the action, I'm assuming. Nice clear water. Ooh, that music is intense. That's, for my personal taste, Scott, that's a little too hectical and upbeat, especially looking at the images that we see, which are very calm and relaxed. But it is a little catchy though, the music. So they look like they were quite playful, those seals. Nice. Divers getting in the frame. There's always too many divers on these dive sites. It's a very long take. Oh wow. I thought we were going to see a transition here using the bubbles to reveal another shot after that. That would have been actually a very good idea, or a good opportunity to do that. I actually like that you can hear now the breathing with all the bubbles that we have been seeing so far in the video. This was actually missing a little bit. That sound design, if you want to put it that way. But just being able to hear those, the breathing, gives it a bit of extra dimension. And I think this music works a little better too, compared to the first piece that we heard before. That's a nice shot. Look at him, he's posing for the camera. He knows he's being filmed. He does that on purpose, I'm pretty sure. Something's happening with the image there. Some wobbling stabilizer in post-production, maybe. An overcranked stabilizer. Yeah, right. Seems like we've come to the end. Let me just quickly stop this. Alright, fantastic. Thank you so much, Scott, for submitting this film into this series being reviewed here on the channel. Before we get into the improvements, I want to congratulate you on this film. Really nice piece of imagery. I think you captured quite well what it must have been like to be diving with the seals there. Not entirely sure if it was one seal or if there were more than just that one. I couldn't really tell because there was always only just that one seal in the frame, but maybe it was not the same all the time. I think you did, as I said, capture the experience quite well and transported to the viewer what it must have felt to be diving with that seal or those seals in Hawaii. Nevertheless, there is a few things that I would like to pass on to you that will hopefully help you to create even better films in the future. First of all, I mentioned that while I was watching the film already, I think that the choice of music is not ideal, and this is a personal, like something personal. I'm not saying that you can't use that type of music, but personally I would not. Simple reason, if you look at the footages that you show, the images that you show, they're all very slow, relaxed, calming. So I would try to use a piece of music that transports that feeling as well. So maybe some classical music, maybe some piano, maybe some ambient, chilled out music, but I wouldn't go with something as upbeat and quirky as you chose for the first track. I think the second track that we heard right at the end, that worked better, but the first one, in my opinion, is not ideal for the imagery that you were showing. It isn't supporting the imagery in a way as it should. Another thing that I noticed is that you've taken some quite long takes and you put them into the final edit without doing much to them in terms of cutting them. This is obviously very convenient because you have one long take of 30, 40, 60 seconds and you just put it in there and you just let it run. You can do that. Personally, I think it is gonna give the whole movie, the whole film, a lot more dynamic if you try to keep your cuts a little shorter. I'm not saying make 1 second cuts. By no means. Keep them as long as they have to be, but try to cut out the pieces that are not essential or in some places you even had pieces in there where there was some camera shake, you were moving the camera around, looking for something, the framing wasn't completely right, you could see that you cut off the head of the seal sometimes, there was divers coming into the framing. These pieces of the long takes, you can easily take them out and then just put together the remaining pieces, add them or put them together so that they make a more dynamic scene and you can change your point of view a little more often. To be able to do that, you would probably have to try to take different or a variety of different angles from the object as well. You did well in terms of getting some shots from above down onto the seal as it was diving along the wall. You got some going up to the surface, sort of silhouette at once. You got some shots where you were at the same eye level as the seal, but just try to mix them up a little more. And I'm thinking that I think that this is going to make the entire film quite a lot more attractive and enjoyable to watch for the audience. Yeah, so I've already mentioned the last 2 points that I've got there for you. Composition, be a little more deliberate on how you compose your image. As I just said, sometimes in some instances you could see that you cut off pieces of the seal, for example, and I don't think that that was deliberate, it just happened. And I know that this is difficult with the small action cameras, the small screen on the back. Sometimes it's really difficult to frame your image properly on that small screen. But just try to be a little more deliberate and careful in how you place your camera and how you compose your image so that you're not cutting off stuff that you don't want to cut off. And if you do cut it off, don't take it into the final edit. And last but not least, the positioning. As I said as well just before, try to get a variety of different angles. You did that quite okay. You got a variety of different angles, but I would try to get even more of these different angles so that you can mix them up in post-production and just get a more interesting piece of imagery that way. So Scott, I hope that this review was useful to you and I was able to give you some feedback, some material that you can work on for your upcoming underwater video project. Thanks again so much for submitting your film into this series. Now I'm gonna link Scott's video down in the video description below, as well as his YouTube channel, so feel free to go over to his channel, watch the video there, leave a like, leave a comment, and just say hi to Scott that way. Hopefully for everyone else this video was useful, or this review was useful as well, and you got something that was beneficial to you, you learned something from this review here today, and if that was the case, please do not forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel so you're not missing out on any future content that will be uploaded here. Now one last thing before I let you go, we still do have a couple of spots left on our upcoming underwater videography workshop in Egypt, which is going to be from November 19 to 26 at Marsa Shagara village. I will leave a link down in the video description below to the trip booklet with all the information and the registration form. So if you want to get some first-hand, on-location, one-on-one coaching when it comes to underwater videography and just helping you to improve and work on your underwater videography skills, well, that's your last chance for 2022. Feel free to have a look at the trip booklet and send me the registration form if you think that this is something that you would like to join us on. And that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching and for your time. As always, have a fantastic week. Enjoy capturing your underwater adventures, and I will see you in the next video.